Greetings and salutations, fans and family, friends and neighbors, lovers and losers of all kinds. This is just an observation, and I am your host, Admiral Oliver Franklin Doom. So sit back, enjoy, and let's have some fun, shall we? Hey folks, today I want to share with you a radio show that got me completely hooked on old-time radio. The show is called The Whistler. And it is one of those mystery programs that is just absolutely fantastic. You listen to it, you know exactly what's going to happen to the end of the episode. But as the Whistler describes, you have to wait until the end to see how it really comes out. And it's true. Now, the episode that I'm going to share today is one of my absolute favorite episodes of The Whistler. And it's called Til Death Do Us Part. And what we're going to do, or what I'm going to do actually, is share with you the backstory of the main character, Roy Layton, how he meets the second main character, Linda, the business proposal that Linda has, and then there's the end of the episode. And I want you to make sure you listen to the end of the episode because it is quite the kicker. But that's what made The Whistler great. Now, The Whistler itself spent a long, long time of its run only as a West Coast CBS show. It made it to the East Coast occasionally, but not as a full-time... Well, it did full-time, but not as many episodes broadcast in the East as they did in the West. But I want you to listen to Til Death Do Us Part, as edited by me, to show you what kind of program The Whistler really is.
Roy Layton's quarters in the cheap boarding house were anything but inviting. And from where he sat on the edge of the sagging, brass-posted bed, Roy's view of the outside world was a dismal one. The assortment of unopened bills and collection notices in the nearby wastebasket held their grim message, too. They told him that he'd have to be moving on soon. Change his address. The one letter he wanted, but had given up hoping for, wasn't there. Never would be, he reasoned. And the knock on the door, rousing him from his mental fumblings, could mean only one thing. The landlady and her oft-repeated demand.
I'm back again, Mr. Layton, to ask you once and for all, do you have...
The rent money. I know. You know that the minute I hear from my
You've
uncle...
been saying that for months now. The minute you hear from your Uncle Morton in Mexico. Well, I'm tired of that, too. Tired of hearing of an uncle that, for all I know, might not even exist.
Oh, you're so sweet. A real doll. I'm sorry about the rent. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going out to get a breath of air. Good night, Mrs. Fazackerly. I'd appreciate it if you'd fix the latch while I'm out.
I'll fix the latch. I'll weld it shut, that's what I'll do.
Then you remember Angelo's, a second-rate cocktail lounge a couple of blocks away, where as late as yesterday your credit was still good. But once there, you find things have changed at Angelo's, too. Mac, the bartender, is even slower than usual in coming over to you.
Sorry,
And when he does...
No dice.
Huh? What are you talking about, Mac? I didn't even order.
Well, I thought I'd save you the trouble. Angelo's has no more stuff on the cuff.
But, Mac, I haven't run up a bill on him. At least not a big one.
Yeah, Angelo knows that, but he wants to keep it that way. I'm sorry, kid. I just work here. I want to keep on working here.
In that case, you better get busy and fix my friend a drink.
Huh? You really mean it? You want me to marry you, and you'll pay me $5,000?
Well, now, is it such a difficult assignment?
No, but...
But you still can't see why, huh? All right, I'll run through it again. As many times as you want to hear it, Roy. I've got to have a husband. A legal, honest-to-goodness man about the house.
And you've got to have him, me, by this certain date you mentioned.
Yes, my 25th birthday, 2 months from now. It's all simple enough. My late uncle was eccentric. Narrow-minded, opinionated.
And rich.
Very rich. According to his will, if I marry on or before my 25th birthday, I inherit over $250,000. And if I don't, everything goes to charity.
And you are your favorite charity.
I certainly am.
But why me, Linda? You could have lots of guys.
I don't want lots of guys.
Oh, now, wait a minute. You don't know me from Adam.
All right, Roy. I'll tell you the truth. I love someone else, but I made the mistake of falling for a married man, and his divorce won't be final for 6 months. That's too late to meet the demands of the inheritance.
Oh, that's different. You want to eat your cake and have 250 G's.
Well, something like that. Well, Roy?
I marry you, we make it look good, and then later we get a quiet divorce.
Exactly. You're $5,000 richer, and nobody's the wiser. Once I've got the money, there's nothing anybody can do about it. What do you say, Roy?
I say I wish I had a rich uncle. Mine, he doesn't even answer my letters. Yours leaves you $250,000.
Why, that $5,000 will give you a new start in life, Roy. And until we're divorced, why, you'll dress well and live quite comfortably in Mr. and Mrs. Roy Layton's apartment. Well, must I on bended knee?
Find the preacher, honey. I'll do anything for money.
It's after dinner that the idea comes to you. Perfect, isn't it, Roy? And this time you'll make certain. While Linda is busy in the kitchen, you slip out onto the balcony, take a wrench, and loosen the bolts on the handrail. If Linda leans against the rail, your problem is solved. If not a light push, just the slightest jar will accomplish your purpose. There's little question of the suspect's guilt. To Police Lieutenant Cosgrove, it was a clear case of murder. The victim had been deliberately pushed off the 12th-story balcony. Lieutenant Cosgrove knew that, and before long he'd know the motive, too. As he paced slowly back and forth in the small room at police headquarters, he felt certain that a full confession was close at hand. Finally, he stopped pacing, sat down in a chair facing the suspect, who was sitting rigid and tense, trying to avoid the lieutenant's gaze.
Look, you might as well break down and tell us what this is all about. You know, Miss Prentice, who lives in the apartment next to yours, so you push your victim off the balcony.
All right. All right.
Why, Mrs. Layton? Why did you do it?
It's a long story.
All right, take your time.
Perhaps it isn't such a long story at that. You see, I was born in Los Angeles. Lived here until a few years ago when I took a job in Mexico. And up to 6 months ago, I was secretary to a man there named Morton Layton.
Layton? He any relation to the deceased?
Yes. Yes, he was Roy's uncle. He died about 6 months ago. Before that, he'd been trying to find Roy. Roy wrote him several letters before he died, but Morton Layton never knew about them. I destroyed them.
Why?
Because I didn't want them to get together. And then when old man Layton died, I came back to Los Angeles, where I knew I'd find Roy and marry him.
And murdered him because you thought...
Roy never knew it. He never knew that he was a missing heir. You see, his uncle struck it rich in Mexico. He left him $250,000. I was trying to get that money for myself. As Roy's widow.
And that was The Whistler. I hope you folks enjoyed that, and I hope you'll come back for more Just an Observation.